Hi, everyone. I'll be speaking English because my Turkish is really terrible, so I apologize. But I do know a few words at least, merhaba, günaydın. How many people know about Paraşüt? Oh, quite a few. Wow, I'm really impressed actually. Because we're what's called B2B, business to business. It's a little bit different. B2C, business to consumer, you can think about it as e-commerce, you can think about it as social media. B2B is enterprise software. It's what the gentleman before me talked about as ERP software, enterprise resource planning. So we do things a little bit different. We're B2B software. Probably in your day-to-day life, you guys may not have contacted it. But once you guys graduate, you guys will probably be interacting with some kind of B2B software. So I'm actually very, very impressed you guys know what we do. So what I wanted to do is to kind of tell you guys a little bit about our story. We've been in the market. We've started the company in end of 2013. So we've been running this company for 3 years, and it's been a very, very interesting journey. And so I wanted to share some of the stories with you guys. How many of you guys are in engineering? Studying, wow. Okay. Most of the crowd. How many are studying business? Okay, great. Marketing? All right, decent amount. Cool. How many of you guys are interested in doing your own startup? All right. How many want to work at a startup? Okay. And for the rest, how many want to work at a technology company? Okay, so that's kind of the mix, I see. So let me tell you a little bit about me. So I always get asked this, what is a Chinese American doing in Turkey? So let me get that out of the way first. So I studied economics at Harvard. I worked on Wall Street for a number of years. And I got bored of Wall Street. One of the things I was really, really interested in is this idea that when you look at economic growth of any country, first you have labor. Think back hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, it's all based on agriculture. Each hour of human output gets an hour of some kind of benefit, some kind of value, some kind of wealth. Then the Industrial Revolution came along and machines came into the pictures. So for each hour of labor, it's multiplied by the effect of the machine. So now you can produce a lot more value, a lot more output, a lot more wealth to the economy. And then sometime during the 20th century, smart machines, computers came along. And now all of a sudden, each hour of labor is not multiplied just by a coefficient from the machine, but the output actually is exponential now because now machines are smart. Now machines can do a lot of things for ourselves. So I was always interested in this economic development concept, and I wanted to see how technology and entrepreneurship plays in markets that are emerging, markets that are developing. And I came to work with Endeavor, NGO here, which does this. I came to work with Endeavor back in 2010. So I've actually been in Turkey for quite a while. So when I was working with Endeavor, I met a lot of entrepreneurs, I met a lot of startups, I met a lot of small businesses, and all of them were complaining about the fact that they could not manage their finances, that they didn't understand their cash flow, they didn't understand their cash position, their collections, their payments. They couldn't manage their finances well, and if you can't manage your finances well, you can't run your business well. And if you can't run your business well, again, like the gentleman said before me, your company is going to go bankrupt. So I met so many of the startups like this. And I live in Shoshone, and this is my neighbor. And every morning I say, günaydın to him. And we started talking about this, and he started telling me, well, the way he manages his business is with just a notebook. So he just writes all the accounts down. But he has a computer at work, and he has a smartphone at work, but he doesn't use his computers or smartphones for business. He uses it for, of course, YouTube and other things. But I thought, and this is back in 2012, I thought, well, internet penetration is really high. Mobile penetration is pretty decent. But why do all these small businesses not use this technology to help them make themselves better? And when you look at the market, and I started examining the Turkish market, 99%, out of 3.1, 3.2 million businesses in Turkey, 3 million of them are what are called mikrokobis, less than 10 employees. So the vast majority of the market are small businesses, and the vast majority of the small businesses do not manage themselves with technology. So I thought this was a huge problem. This is a state of the economy that needs to be addressed, that needs to be fixed. So I started thinking about what we can do, and I started talking to people, emailing people that are in this industry that have some kind of knowledge about this, and I started talking to what later became my co-founder, Andaç. Andaç worked in the software sector for over 10 years by that point, and we knew each other because of my endeavor. Because of Endeavor, one of my colleagues was Andaç's wife. So we started emailing back forth. This email was from September 2012, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, this seems to be the situation in Turkey. I was thinking about whether producing an invoicing or payroll software would be a very, very interesting thing to do. What do you think about this?" So we started chatting, and in November of 2012, we set up our first meeting. And, there are no garages in Turkey, in Istanbul at least, there are no garages. So what are the garages? We would meet in different cafes. We met in Starbucks, and there was a blogger spot place in Taksim. Every single cafe there was, we would rotate and meet in the cafes and talk about this and work on this. And at that time, too, I wanted to focus on this idea so much that I quit my job. And I wanted to develop. So remember, again, my background is in economics and finance. And I said, well, if I'm going to be doing a technology startup, obviously my skills, at least at the very beginning of doing a technology startup, are not suited. What am I going to do while Andaç is a developer? What am I going to do, just sit there and watch Andaç develop? No, I have to learn development as well. So I enrolled myself at Boğaziçi. I went to online, read everything I could. There are a lot of online resources. Read everything I could. There was a website called Cold School. Did the exercises there. Downloaded every O'Reilly book I can get my hand on to try to learn development. And so now Andaç and I are together. By December, end of November, December 2012, we start writing code. So I was writing the front end. Andaç was writing the back end. And so now you have me, an economics, finance guy, writing code, right? So lesson from there, if you guys are going to be doing a startup, obviously for the people who are already studying technology, that is great. But if you're doing a startup, just roll up your sleeves and learn everything you can. And it's actually not that intimidating. It's actually not that hard. And there are a lot of resources online. If you can't find the resources online, make sure you have a good network. Make sure you find right mentors. Make sure you find right teachers, and just learn everything. Learn everything online, get your hands dirty, and just get things going. Sorry. You guys saw everything, right? Just close your eyes for a bit while I rewind. All right, cool. So we started writing code, and we started drawing wireframes. And we're not designers, but what do you do when you don't have a designer? You just try to do it yourself. You, again, read books, learn, watch videos, learn design concepts, and you just start designing the software. So the first software in January 2013 came out like this. And Andaç and I looked at it, and we said, damn, it's pretty ugly. What are we going to do with this? This is certainly not what we had in our mind. What we had in our mind was a technology that was so simple to use that these businesses would just naturally use it. It would just be so intuitive. It would be like consumer software. You wouldn't have to go to class for it. You wouldn't have to get training for it. It would just be so simple to use. And it would be so integrated into the workflows of these businesses. You just pick it up and start using it. But this wasn't it. This was ugly. So what do? Well, we couldn't get any better at design, so we started talking to designers. I had a friend who we worked on a couple of projects before by this point, so we start working together. And this guy became my other co-founder. His name is Fari. So he actually he studied at İTÜ, I believe, and he taught design and at Sabancı University, Istanbul Bilgi University. Was big into the design space. And so we started working together on interfaces, and now it's 3 co-founders, me, Andash, and Fari. So again, I'm from a business background, Andash is from a development technology background, Fari is from a design background, and we start the team. And we would meet in different coffee shops, we would meet in our living rooms. I quit my job, I quit everything, I said I need to focus on this. The only way I'm gonna get this company going is to focus on it. I had some savings in my pocket, I was eating as cheap as I can, not going out, not having any fun, just working during the day, reading at night, dedicating my entire life to this. And Fari, well, he had a family to support, so he couldn't do what I did. So he did the next best thing. He would work 3 days on his other business, 2 days with me. We would swap our living rooms. I would go to his living room, he would go to my living room, and we would work like this. And Nandash had a family as well. He couldn't quit his day job. So what he would do is work during the day, come home at night, work again at night till like 2 a.m. I remember this one night I called him at 2 a.m. because we were solving a problem. I called him. And Nandash was like, well, I'm working, of course, but don't call me again at 2 a.m. because I got my family. So we would work like this, and we worked like this for like half a year, and of course, very, very difficult. On the weekends, we would meet in Andash's mother-in-law's doctor's office in Gayrettepe, and we just meet there and sync up. But it was really, really hard. So by May of 2013, we said, well, one of 2 things is going to happen. Either, by some miracle, we put the software out there in the market, and it takes off like crazy, and thousands and businesses are going to start using it. Or, if we keep working like this, we're going to run out of energy. I'm going to run out of my savings. Andash is going to run out of being able to stay up until 2 a.m. every day working on this. And Fari is not going to be able to bring enough income in for his family. So what do? So we then go out to the market and we start talking to investors with this version of the software, which if you look at, is slightly better than this version of the software, but obviously is not that cool yet, that great yet. But that's what we produced at the time, the 3 of us working on this full-time and part-time. And we go out to the market and we start talking to investors. It's hard to get investment in Turkey. When I came here in 2010, there really weren't any venture capital firms. And there weren't enough successful entrepreneurs yet that were becoming seed investors. Now, fast forward, this was in 2013, 212 Capital came along, Revo Capital was just starting, so a couple more venture capital firms were starting to be there, and there were early exits from the e-commerce entrepreneurs that they were starting to give back to the market as well, so it was becoming easier. If you fast forward to 2016, of course, things will get better and better, hopefully. So in 2013, we talked to some of the angel investors. They were interested. Then we started talking to venture capital firms, and they got interested as well. And we closed a deal with Revo Capital in October 2013. We officially start the company. So we couldn't decide on a name for ourselves. Naming was really, really hard. We weren't very good at coming up with the names. So we chose something literal. We chose e-defter, and that was the name we went out into the market. E-book, e-ledger, simple enough. Not very sexy, not very interesting, but we chose this name. We went out to the market like this. And we found ourselves a space, very small apartment in Cihangir, about 80 square meters, and we start working out of there. We start recruiting people, recruiting developers, and we start working out of this space. And the way we work, we try to stick by some kind of methodology as we were developing, as we were organizing. Of course, it wasn't very sophisticated. We just wrote things down in a notebook as well and just started working like this. So in January 2014, we come out with this version of the software. So It's this version, now it's this version. We're pretty happy about this. We've been working together. At that time, I was still developing, and we had 2 other developers with us, and Fario is now designing full-time. So we come out with this, we go to beta, we launch at İTÜ startup Turkey in Ankara, and we launched the product. But while we're launching the product as well, we decided that we didn't really like the Adefter name very well. It was a bit boring. So we do some rebranding. We take out dictionaries, we put names on sticky notes, we stick it all over the wall trying to come up with different variations of the names, and we come out with the name Paraşüt. We liked Paraşüt because we're a cloud software, because Paraşüt comes from the cloud, because the first 4 letters of Paraşüt has para in there, which seems fitting for what we did. Because we can come up with imageries like sending your invoice with Paraşüt, sending your money with Paraşüt. So that was kind of cool. Paraşüt leg on there. I don't know. It doesn't translate as well in Turkish, but in English it was pretty cool. And as well, if you think about what we do, if you're a startup, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a small business owner, starting a business is really, really scary. Starting a business is like taking a leap of faith, jumping off of a cliff, taking a leap of faith. And when you jump off of a cliff, we're going to be there. You're going to bring your parachute along, and we're going to help you soar. So that was kind of the imagery we wanted to go with. And this is the logo I designed, but of course, Fari being the designer rejected this version, so we didn't go with this. We went with our current logo. We rebrand everything. We do a complete new look and feel. We did this all in a week, and then we launched the product. So this is May of 2014. We launched the product. There's 1 month trial. So June of 2014, we have our first paying customer. And I remember in that month, June of 2014, we had like 22 customers. 22 customers from, remember I started working on this in November, December 2012. Up until this point, 2012, 2013, this is like 1.5 years already. 1.5 years' work, we get 20 customers. And we were like, shit, I can say shit, right? Shit, and the F word. Wow, this is gonna be really hard. 20 customers in the first year. We wanted to get to 2,000 customers, 20,000 customers, 200,000 customers. How are we gonna do this? I mean, we got 20 customers in the first year. I can't even imagine getting to 200 customers. It's gonna be really, really hard. What do we do? Well, we do celebrate the small things, 20 customers, okay, not bad. We can print our first invoice. We have customers, real customers now, that are willing to pay for our product. That's a good sign, right? I mean, people say they need the solution, but until they actually pay for the solution, you don't really get the validation from the market. So we print our first invoice, we celebrate that. We work on the mobile app, we just keep working, keep grinding. We keep thinking about what customers need. We keep thinking about how to make this thing better. As we're working, of course, we try to have some fun as well. Pizza parties at the office, going out for dinner together, going out to Akash together, taking shots at, in various bars and tax them together. Whatever it is, we try to have fun, we try to work hard. And along this journey as well, going from 20 customers to hopefully, and I'll tell you the numbers later, we have to reevaluate all the time. We have to really think about, well, are we on the right track? Are we doing the right things? Do we need to really rethink our strategy? Do we really need to rethink our product? What kind of methodologies do we need to work with to be able to make a better product, have a better marketing strategy, having a better sales strategy? What do we need to do there? So all the time we're reevaluating. Each quarter now, actually, we follow a quarterly process where we kind of lay out our accomplishments for the previous quarter. We focus on objectives for the next quarter. We have a quarterly tempo where we reevaluate things. So we worked. June of 2014 was 20 customers. By February of 2015, we went back out to the market. I think at that time we had about like 120 customers. Not a huge improvement, but we went back on the market because we had the validation that the team that we formed could build the product, and the product could find customers. So we went back on the market to raise some more money. And this time, the lead investor was Ribbit Capital. And Ribbit Capital is a fintech venture capital fund in Silicon Valley. And we were really proud of this because out of all the Ribbit Capital portfolio companies, if you guys follow some of this, Credit Karma, where else is this? Funding Circle, Gusta, Invoice to Go. These are all unicorns. These are all the unicorns in the fintech world, global fintech companies. So we were really, really proud to be one of the portfolio companies for Ribbit Capital. But if you think about it, 20 customers, 120 customers, we're still very, very far away from our goals. So as we're working, the office is getting really crowded. It's an 80 square meter place. We fit about like 12 people in there. We don't have any seats left. People are sitting on the couch. You know, if you look at the photo, we're all smiling, but of course, there's only one bathroom and there's 12 people, and it gets pretty difficult. So we looked for a new office space. We moved from our office in Jihangir to an office in TomTom. This place is about 350 square meters. And we move in, and finally we can breathe a bit. And we keep working, The team gets a little bit bigger. Now, instead of just having developers and designers on the team, we started to focus on recruiting for the marketing team. We started to experiment with sales a little bit. And of course, you know, we keep up the fun. We have our parties, we have our dinners, we have poker nights, we go out, we try to be healthy, go for bicycle rides, karaoke, and, you know, still lots of drinking beers and so on. In September 2015, we have our 1,000th customer. So now we come a long way. In February 2015, we're 100. In September 2015, we're 1,000. So something's happening. We don't quite know what it is. I mean, we work hard. We look at the strategy. We look at our marketing plans. We look at all partnership plans, sales plans. We look at whether our product has more engagement, whether our product has more retention. We work on the things that we think really matters. We try to focus on just a couple of things at any given time, try to focus on it and develop it really well. And September 2015, we have our 1,000th customer. Now, fast forward a little bit. In July of 2016, we have our 3,000th customer. And as of today, we have our 4,000th customer. These are paying customers. We have over 100,000 customers that have tried the software and are using the free version. So now we have 3,000 customers. So from 20 customers about 2 years ago to 4,000 customers today, that's a lot of progress. And we've come a really, really long way. But we're still looking at 10,000 customers, 100,000 customers, 1 million customers. So how do we get there? So it seems like each time we reach a new achievement, we have to ask ourselves, well, how do we get to the next point? How do we get to the next point? How do we get there? So one thing to keep in mind, the team gets bigger as well, and we started to get recognition, and I'm really proud that you guys in the audience know who we are. We started to get recognition. Wired, for 2 years in a row, named us as one of Europe's hottest startups, and that's a pretty awesome recognition to get. And we raised our new investment just recently. We add 2 more investors to our investor set. We have Diffusion Capital Partners and 500 Startups as our new investors. So one thing to keep in mind as you guys are thinking about your own startup is it's going to be a long road. It's going to be a very, very long road. It's not going to be overnight. It may not be overnight success. You will probably need to think about the next 5 to 10 years of your life in this. And the people that you pick, the co-founders that you pick, are going to be with you for 5 to 10 years. So it really is like a marriage. So are you going to be picking the right people? So I would say that out of all the things I've learned, idea, yes, you need to have a good idea. Investment, of course, investment always helps for you to grow faster. Your strategy, of course, you have to focus on the right strategy. But really, the team is what you guys should be working on. finding the right team, finding the right team, building the right team, and maintaining the right team culture. How much time do I have? Okay. So when we thought about the founding team, I'm the business guy, Andash is the technology guy, Fari is the designer. So it turns out that there's actually a formula for a lot of the times for these technology product teams, and they came out with the hustler, the hacker, the hipster. So that's the winning formula. So if you guys think about building products, building technology, one guy is out there doing the business, making sure that the business is generating money. One guy's out there producing the technology, and one guy's out there designing the technology so it's usable. So this is the dream team. You guys may want to think about that. And I'm going to read through this really quick. When you go out there, you try to recruit the best people you can to believe in your idea, to believe in you, to help you build your vision. While you're doing this, you got to start thinking about the culture that you want to build. What does your team stand for? What does your company stand for? What are the values that you guys want to live by? Start thinking about this really hard, start codifying it, start putting it into a process. So when we started the company back in, before we even started the company, we said a couple things that we wanted to achieve. Our values, we want to do the right thing, we want to put people first, and we want to succeed together. For our work culture, we're going to be fun but professional. We're going to be passionate. We're going to be comfortable with uncertainty, have an appetite for uncertainty and challenges. We're going to respect each other. We're going to be collaborative. We're working as a team, succeeding together. We're going to be transparent with each other. And at the company, we're so transparent that we put everything, literally everything, on a shared drive, Google, down to our financials. So everyone at the company, every employee knows whether we're doing well or we're doing bad. If we're doing well, we're going to celebrate together. If we're doing bad, we're going to put our heads together and try to figure it out. We're going to be objective-oriented. We're not going to micromanage. We encourage 360 feedback. Twice a year, we get together to evaluate our performances. I evaluate the people reporting to me. The people reporting to me evaluate my performance as well. We really want to achieve perfection. Perfection, by definition, is impossible. It's a concept. You never get there. But rather, we want to strive for achieving perfection than setting the bar low. Because that is how you're going to produce a great product. That is how you're going to produce a great company. And of course, we want to encourage out-of-the-box thinking. We want to encourage creativity. And when we look for people to hire, we codify the principles of our team as well. We want to hire people who possess all three skills, all three abilities. They, of course, need to be smart. They need to be ambitious. And what I mean by ambitious is they want to change the status quo. They want to do something different. They want to challenge themselves and learn something new all the time. And they need to be responsible to each other because we're a team. We all succeed together. So some people are really smart, but they lack the ambition, so they can't achieve anything. Some people are really ambitious, but they lack their being responsible to each other, so they're not a team player. They're very selfish. So all three things need to exist in harmony together, and those are the people we look for to put into our team. So since we're running out of time, I'll just stop right there. What I want to say is, when you think about your own startups, think about the fact that this is going to be a long journey. Think about the fact that you need to bring the right people along. Think about the fact that the culture you want to create, the company that you want to create is something you want to be proud of. The company that you want to create is something that you go to every day, and you're going to be happy being there. One of the proudest moments I have is when I want to take a breather, I go out to our balcony, and I go out there, and I'm out there, the company's inside, and I look back at everyone. So we don't have the picture in there here. I look back at everyone, and so this is the picture I took from the balcony, and everyone's in there working, everyone's in there talking, chatting with each other, smiling, laughing, and I'm completely outside of this. And in fact, the company may run without me even being there. And that is a really, I can't describe it so well, but that is a really, really beautiful feeling. So think about the culture you want to create very, very well, and try to have a lot of fun while you're doing it. So, do you guys have any questions?
Hi. Hi. What was your model from formula? Hacker, hipster, or hustler? I want to know that.
Sorry, what was the?
What was your model from formula? Hacker, hipster, or hustler?
What was my motto?
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
You were a hipster, or you were a hacker, or
I was the hustler. I mean, I had to play the hustler role because I tried to learn development, but my code sucked. I tried to learn design, but my design sucked, so I got stuck with the hustler role. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Firstly, I want to appreciate for your presentation and giving us a time for presentation. And
Sure.
I want to ask one question. And how did you get the trust of the first customer?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I'm studying computer engineering, and
I mean, we did do some marketing by then. I mean, we've been to presentations, we've been to conferences, we had PR, news coverage about us. Do you guys know about the technology adoption curve, that concept? There's a book called Crossing the Chasm. I strongly encourage you guys to read it, Crossing the Chasm. So the concept goes like this. In any given market, you have a bell curve of people willing to adopt technology. And there always are going to be in this market early adopters. And the early adopters really like new things. The technology, we are new, but these people really like new technologies. We probably were not a great product back then. We had a lot of missing features, but that's okay for them because because we were in the cloud, we were on mobile. This suited them a lot better than any other technology that came before. So in any given market, there are the early adopters, and the early adopters support us and help us get to the majority of the market. And any given market, there are laggards that may never adopt our technology. So we tend to think about go-to-market strategies that way. There was a question. Maybe you can just yell to save some time or something. Never mind, you can't yell. It's not loud enough.
Hi. First of all, thanks for bringing in some entrepreneurial inspiration to this room, all the way from Harvard. My question is, so you're in Turkey, you're working with small, middle enterprises, and you're a foreigner, and it's quite difficult to adapt to the market.
It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, sounds weird. So you talked about design, marketing, and all this, but I think there should be a huge sales team in the background. It was only online sales, or did you have big offline sales guys?
No offline sales guys. We actually didn't start with sales. We started with marketing. We started with digital marketing to try to acquire customers. We then did content marketing to try to generate awareness and leads. And then that was working decently well. And then we layered in inside sales, telesales, to see how much increase in conversion we can get. Back to, I'm going to touch upon the first part of what you said. What I fundamentally believe is humans are humans everywhere, for the most part. Humans are humans everywhere. Humans will care about a couple of things. They will care about making themselves good, well, healthy, take care of themselves, take care of their loved ones, take care of their families, take care of their friends. I think people always believe in those values. And when you think about a business owner, what he always wants to achieve is to have the business take care of himself, take care of his family, take care of his employees, bring wealth. So when you can provide a technology, a product that does that so much better than anything that's in the market, anything that came along, compare us to a notebook, compare us to an Excel, where 10x improvement, 100x improvement off of that. So when you're able to do that, I mean, I can be a foreigner doing it, or a person from the market doing it. It really doesn't matter because you really deliver something that people really need.
Thanks.
Any other questions? All right, cool. Guys, thanks so much. It's an honor to it's an honor to be able to talk to you guys. I know there's lunch, so are you guys all grabbing lunch together? Because I will just stand by. I'd love to talk to you guys. Before you go, can I grab a picture of everyone? All right. Can everyone just wave and? Okay. All right, wave everyone. All right, cool. Thanks.